How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and today we are at Michael's for the Halloween 2024 season. As you can see, they are fully stocked, and we have a lot to look at today. From lemax Spooky Town to home decor, and even a life-size animatronic, there's a lot to get into, so let's get started. Let's start off with my favorite section, the lemax Spooky Town. Before we look at any of the buildings, let's take a look at a few of the accessories for this year. Here we got this sort of medieval campfire going on. Here is this hot tub, basically cauldron that skeleton's chilling in. And I like this one with the man eating plants. We even have a garbage truck, which is pretty cool. Here are some more little figures and stuff here. You got the Day of the Dead ones to go along with that new building we'll take a look at in a minute. Here we have some trees. I believe those light up. Some cool looking lampposts. I like the little design on them. And a Spooky Town billboard. We got this cauldron with a hand sticking out of it. And here is a witch meter maid. I'll flip it around. There you go. Look at that. That is pretty cute. This werewolf is interesting. Here we have the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein having some popcorn, a skeleton dog, and a dude chilling on a tombstone. Now for the buildings, here's the big one, the Phantom Castle roller coaster. You may have already seen this on the channel. I do own it, which I'm very happy about. This thing is just awesome. I love the animation, that big reaper. Everything is so cool about this one for sure. Next up, we have this little trick-or-treat parade, which I think is a really cute piece, but for $80, I feel like you're getting ripped off here. Michael's really jacked up the prices on all their Spooky Town stuff this year. I recommend shopping at a different store for Spooky Town nowadays. But anyways, this is still a really nice, cute little piece. I love the little trick-or-treaters. Here is the Frankenstein cottage. It's a great little starter piece if you don't have the budget for something bigger. And here we have the creepy pumpkin patch, which is a facade piece, meaning only the front is actually detailed. It's not a full piece, but this is still really cool. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of these facade pieces they do, but I think they did a really good job on this one. Here is the Broken Bell Telephone Company. I do have this piece as well. This one's really great. I love the detailing and coloring on it especially. Really unique color scheme going on there. Here we have the Pumpkin Patch Party House. I don't like this one at all. The roof just looks really ugly on it in my opinion. Here we have another little cottage piece here. This one's pretty cool as well. And here is the Day of the Dead Emporium. This one is great. I think the Day of the Dead stuff is pretty cool, especially for lemax. I love those two up there. And then here we have that hot tub cauldron in action. I love the lighting on it. Here we have this spooky tree, which looks very creepy indeed. And here we have the Madness Manor. This is another big ticket item from lemax, a Michael's exclusive as well, if I'm not mistaken. This one has a lot of details going on and a lot of very interesting lighting for sure. I think the detailing is pretty cool. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one, though. I feel like we've had much better mansions and haunted houses from lemax, but this is certainly an interesting one for sure, especially with those eyes on the house. That's probably my favorite detail. Still a cool building, though. Just in Pieces. That's a cool looking tombstone. Here's the graveyard set they're selling for this year. Everything is completely movable on this piece, which is cool, and I do like the gate and mausoleum a lot. It's a very interesting piece for lemax. They've never really done something like this before, but if you're doing a graveyard theme for your Spooky Town, this piece is a must-have. Now here's the medieval campfire accessory in action, and I have to say it's a very interesting piece. The medieval stuff is something that's kind of been untapped in terms of lemax stuff, but I think this is a pretty cool one regardless. I do like the Headless Horseman there for sure. He's an interesting character to put in. Here we have the Cursed Ruins Castle, and this thing is just awesome. Honestly, I'm kind of regretting not getting this one. It has a cool misting effect in the mouth, which I think is really cool. And between the design and lighting here, I think this is probably the best medieval or castle piece they've ever done. It just looks so awesome, especially that big skull face. Here we have one of the more unique pieces for this year being the Slithering Gardens. I can't really say it's my thing, but I think the lighting on this one is awesome, and there's a ton of great little details packed in here. Next up, you might have seen this one on the channel as well, we have the Terror Tavern. This is probably my favorite bulb-lit piece of all time. It's very simple but very cool. Here we have the Fright Night Cinema. Again, a lot of you have probably seen this one because my video on it did very good, but this is definitely the best movie theater we've gotten from Lemax. It is so awesome. So much great details, and the inside scene is especially cool. Here's the last little cottage piece. This one is witch themed, obviously. This one is pretty cool. And now here we have my favorite piece of the year, and one of my favorite pieces of all time, the Smoke and Mirrors Magic Shop. Get a look at that awesome Pepper's ghost effect going on inside there. How genius is that? That is just so cool. Here we have this little jump scare rabbit almost. It comes out of the big hat there. Such a genius design again as well. Here we have Blackhorn the Magician, and take a look at this little illusion here with the water chamber and the straitjacket guy. That is awesome. Get a look at those spinning things, and here is an inverted face illusion where it looks like the face is following you around. Get a look at these cards on the roof. Looks like a magic trick went wrong there. And here we have these spirals. How cool is that? It's basically trying to hypnotize you to come in and buy stuff. Well, that's it for all the Lemax buildings, but before we leave this section, let's take a look at what they have in stock. And it looks like they still have a lot. I believe all this stuff is 20% off right now, so if you want any of it, I'd recommend going to Michael's soon, because this stuff never lasts. Spooky Town is very popular every year, and a lot of these pieces become collector's items pretty quickly. The next section we'll be looking at is all the lighting stuff. Michael's typically does a lot of lighting each year. I don't know why it doesn't really fit the whole Michael's craft store thing, but whatever. Get a look at these string lights, pretty standard stuff overall. Here we have some singing pumpkin and ghosts.
On Halloween night, we're gonna light up so bright and be the spookiest sight. You might get a scare when witches take to the air, and the moaning zombies will stare. Little monsters up for treats, they'll be marching through the street.
Well, enough of that. Here we have some more string lights. Again, very standard Halloween fare here. Not much to say. Here we have some box string lights. Those pumpkins and spiders look interesting. Eyeballs, bats, witch hats, even mummies. Pretty cool. Here we have these tabletop LED neon signs. Unfortunately, there are no batteries in any of these, so I can't demo them, but I think they look pretty cool for the most part, these pumpkin ones especially. Continuing to the other side of this little section, we have even more lighting options. These bats are pretty cool though. I really like the purple lighting on them. Here are these spiders. Can't say I'm a big fan of the pink color though, a little bit strange. Take a look at these pumpkin pathway markers. I like how they look, but not how they sound. Pumpkin cat. Here we got these ghost pathway markers. No sound on these, they just light up, which I think is perfectly okay. Can never go to a store's Halloween section without seeing one of these shadow lights. Here we got this big LED spider web. I'm guessing you could put that in your window or on your lawn. Pretty cool. Here we have this sort of rotten pumpkin. Here we have some blow molds, which I think are nice. The cat one's cute. Dog one is even more cute. Look, he's popping his little head out of the box. How cool is that? Here we have some Halloween tree ornaments. I say leave the tree decorating to Christmas, but this seems to be a trend that's kind of caught on these past few years. It's definitely not for me, but if you like it, more power to you. Our next section are sort of these pink pastel colored products, and I don't think this aesthetic works for me or most people, but whatever, let's take a look at it anyways. The only colors of pumpkins or skulls I would consider buying here would definitely be the orange ones, but it does look like people are buying the pink and magenta ones, so I guess this is a theme that works for people. I don't even know what those are. That spider web is pretty cool though. Just some more feminine type stuff, I guess you could say. Yeah, this theming just doesn't work for me. Here are these skeleton cats and dogs. These aren't too bad. I honestly like the coloring on these. And we even have a rat and a vulture. That's an odd pick of animals. Here we got some bathroom sort of stuff. This is going to be a very common theme throughout this video. I actually like these park bench ones a lot though. That's really cool. Here we have some like general signage stuff, feeling witchy, spooky, some little hanging dudes, and a coffin with a skeleton. Now this is pretty interesting. It seems like they're going for a lot of disco ball type stuff this year. Those pumpkins are certainly cool, very shiny. Again with the disco type ball stuff. And here we literally just have disco ball candle holders. I'm not even sure what the point of that is for Halloween. Here's some disco ball spiders. And just straight up disco balls. What are the point of these for Halloween? A lot of merchandise that says groovy on it this year. What is this, The Evil Dead? Here we have some tinsel decorations that Michaels just can't seem to get enough of each year. Here we have Michael's little pillow section now. They pretty much do this every year. I'm not exactly sure why, but they're pretty cool pillows regardless. I like the little candy corn there for sure. This sequined pillow, I just had to do it. It's so satisfying. What can I tell you? Some ghosts, skeletons, all classic Halloween stuff. Some big fuzzy spiders. Those are actually pretty cool. And even more tinsel decorations. So that's all for this front section here, but there is still so much more to look at. I don't even think we're halfway done, so let's continue. Up next is the Gothic decor section, and honestly, there's some really cool stuff in here, so let's dive right in. Starting off, we have some merchandise for the ever-popular Edgar Allan Poe. These are kind of like planters here. This bronze snake one is actually really cool. I do like that a lot. Next, we kind of have this baby-looking one. Kind of reminds me of Brandon Lee's The Crow a little bit. Then you got a cauldron. And these tree skulls are actually awesome. I really like these a lot. You can get a look inside there. That's really cool. Here we have even more planters. I actually am a fan of these fungal skull ones. It's pretty unique for the most part, I guess. Here we have some flowers. You got one with an eye in it and one with a mouth. Here we just have some skeleton stuff. Not too much to say here. Here we have some mini Halloween accessories for like tabletop decorations, I guess. They're honestly kind of sized to lemax type stuff. It's almost like a lemax knockoff brand. I'm not even sure why Michaels has these, considering they have the real lemax in their stores. But I guess this is their own weird little Halloween tabletop figurine items. I mean, they're fine for what they are. I'm not trying to hate on them or anything. I especially like these cuter looking ones here. That little mouse in the costume is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not sure why they do these. Once again, they have the real lemax. Here's this awesome low poly looking skull I found. That's really cool. Then we just have some candles here. I mean, I don't have too much to say about these. Here we have some classic foam pumpkins, as well as some ceramic ones you can paint. Now here we have a whole nother Gothic theme section here. This is more fortune teller-esque items, but we do have some more Edgar Allan Poe stuff as well over here. Here are some of the fortune teller items, as I said. Starting off with this little fortune booth, that's pretty cool. And then we have this fortune teller cabinet here. It's interesting enough, I guess. I really haven't seen much like this before. It's pretty cool. Got the Ouija board in there. Here you have the psychic reading sign. That's pretty nice. And then we have some test tubes filled with various items, psychic readings. And then here we have some busts, one of the Headless Horsemen, which is pretty cool. Get a look at that awesome jack-lantern face. Then we have one of the Bela Lugosi, Dracula, of course. Very cool there.
And just off to his left, we have Frankenstein's monster. This is a fine-looking bust of him. I think the Dracula one's a lot better. And of course, Edgar Allan Poe. You really can never escape that guy at Michael's every year. That is for sure. Now, as you'll see, toilets are going to be a common theme throughout Michael's. I'm not really sure who these are made for, but they're interesting enough, I guess. If you're looking for a comedic tabletop decoration, I guess this is something you'll go with here. As you see, we have Edgar Allan Poe, Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Headless Horseman once again. And they're all sitting and reading some sort of literature. The Headless Horseman is, of course, reading Sleepy Hollow, though I'm not sure how he's reading since he's headless. Overall, these are silly, I guess, but still unique. Here we have this little typewriter that has Nevermore by Edgar Allan Poe written on it. Here's some more Frankenstein and Dracula merchandise. Now, this is really cool. This is a door knocker, and it's this really awesome looking metallic skull. I have to say, that's actually one of the more unique and cool items at Michael's this year for sure. Here we have some black cat stuff now. This one with the mirror is awesome in my opinion. And then you just have a little black cat statue, as well as a black cat painting. Here's a hanging bat, pretty cool. Broom parking, that's pretty funny. Some more witch stuff. Cool witch painting for sure though. More witch paintings. And a big witch painting with the moon. That's pretty cool with the bat and the skull. I like how his wings are sort of wrapped around it. Some more witch-related decor. Some more bats. This spiked pumpkin is cool. Again, with the toilet stuff, we have a skeleton on his laptop. And one who's reading, but it honestly looks like he's pushing really hard on the toilet. We have some skeleton couple type merchandise now, and really all it does is remind me of how lonely I am, so thank you Michaels for that, but, you know, they're fine decor if you're into that sort of thing, I guess. That skeleton blowing the bubble is kind of cool. Some spinal cord stuff, you know, just generic skeleton stuff in general here. We see this at Michael's literally all the time, every year. This guy on a laptop is pretty cool, though. Let's get a look at what he's doing on the screen. Looks like the laptop's starting up. Our next section is very unique, but kind of strange at the same time, because we have this very white-themed section, all very pale white coloring used on all these items. I don't know if I'm a fan of this or not. There's definitely some that just make no sense to me, but there's also a couple cool ones in here. For example, this skull with the thing draped over it. I mean, it's all a solid piece, which looks really cool. Then these mirrors, too, are honestly creepy. Get a look at that. That's just, gives me the heebie-jeebies. There's some really cool statues again like that. Another mirror. There you go, I'm filming. I guess these are witch shoes, haunted house. Cool painting of the psycho house, or at least it looks like it. Another mirror sort of thing, very creepy. Then we have this awesome painting that's actually sick. And then just some more statues and other decor. And then we have, what the hell is this? It's literally just a toilet and a bathtub with just a few fancy snakes on it. It's a toilet. How does this have anything to do with Halloween? What? I don't get it. I don't. Michael, seriously, what are you thinking? It's just a toilet. I don't understand. I don't get it. This is pretty cool, I guess. Another mirror, last one. That one's actually the creepiest. Just some general white-themed Halloween stuff. Very, very absent of all colors, which, you know, I think it's a cool aesthetic, honestly. It's grown on me since I filmed this, but it's definitely not my go-to for sure. Here you have this weird skeleton candle holder with spider legs, I guess, and some really cool-looking skulls. And there's a statue. Very cool.
Our next section brings us to the animated tabletops and life sizes. That's right, we got a life size at Michael's. Anyway, here's this haunted telephone. Let's see what it does. Lame. I've seen much better haunted telephones, and for way cheaper. Here's this cool little poison sort of light you got going on here. There's even eyeballs floating around under there, if you could see that. That's pretty cool, actually. I hope that was as satisfying for you as it was for me. So this is supposed to be a haunted mirror, but it just doesn't work because it's not a mirror. The face in there is certainly cool looking though. Here we have an eyeball door knocker. It wasn't making any sound, so that's why you're hearing no audio from it, but it's fine, I guess. We see a million of these. Here you have this tricycle riding girl.
Why do you seem so scared? All I want to do is play with you. I don't want to play alone. Please come and play with me. I'm so lonely. You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
So here's this bird cage crow, and I mean, it's fine. But I'm going to take this moment to mention that every single tabletop costs $50. What the actual hell? So here are these haunted books that Jemmy has been selling literally since like 2005, I think. They're there every year. And here is this little baby doll guy now. Unfortunately, it wasn't working, so I just shake him violently to give you a picture of what his animation might be. Here's this crystal ball.
Concentrate. Don't be afraid of what you see.
Here's a look at some of the stock they have. You could get a look at that mirror again there, or it's not even a mirror. It's literally just like a black picture frame until it lights up. Here's this little rocking horse doll guy. You could buy one of those at Big Lots for $20 and save $30. Here's this little skull totem. Again, $50 is outrageous for all this stuff. Like, it's not worth it at all. But this skull totem is cool. Here we have a freaking bump and go Chucky at Michael's. This was the last thing I was expecting to see there when I walked in.
Sucker. It ain't the size that counts. It's what you do with it. That is sick. First thing we gotta do is get me out of this body once and for all. That is sick.
Well, it definitely makes no sense to me why this guy is at Michael's of all places, but really, this is just a pretty crappy bump and go Chucky. I mean, it's just fine. Here we have a life-sized witch animatronic.
I gotcha!
So pretty clearly, this is just using Jemmy's face pop-up mechanism they've been using for the past couple years now. And really, this thing is just fine in my opinion. I'll do it one more time.
Trick or treat!
I really can't hate on this thing too hard because, again, it's a freaking Michael's life-size animatronic. I wasn't expecting anything, and this is what we got, so it's pretty cool for what it is. Here we have some skeletons. Really, no Halloween section is complete without a few life-size posable skeletons, though. I definitely wouldn't recommend buying them at Michael's. You could just get one at Home Depot or Party City. Here we have this goat animatronic, skeleton goat, I should say. This is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, so a little annoying, but unique regardless. Here we have a few more skeleton critters, a rat, a dragon, and it looks like this dog is trying to take a bite out of the wedding cake there. That's pretty cool how someone set him up like that. Definitely wanted to capture that for the video. Here you have some millipedes, I guess, skeleton millipedes, and even a scorpion. Not sure if that's how anatomy works, but cool regardless. And here we just have a few more skeleton critters. Really not much to say here. We got this bat, which the eyes light up. I thought it was going to do something because it looks like there's a speaker thing on the side, but no, the eyes just light up.
Well, everyone, that is it for this Michaels Halloween 2024 store tour. I really appreciate it if you stuck around till this point. Be sure to like and subscribe. I think overall for Michaels this year, they had a pretty solid selection, especially the Spooky Town, but I don't really count that as a Michaels thing. That's more of a lemax thing. I really think in terms of the home decor and stuff, though, they get really creative with interesting themes each year. Mainly, it's just how they color the items, but it's still cool to see these unique and really never done before themes regardless, so it's always something to look forward to at Michaels, I guess. I was also really shocked to see that they had a life-size animatronic this year, and while I wasn't impressed in any regard with the animatronic itself, I still think it's cool to see that Michaels is kind of investing into the animatronic side of Halloween a little bit. Well, with that, everybody, those are my final thoughts for Michaels Halloween 2024. Once again, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below letting me know what was your favorite thing that you saw in this video. And with that, remember, nobody outpixelates the pumpkin.